Wrestling fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Gotmark76 this week. We are only 1 week away from the big show, Wrestlemania, April 1st, here on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. And today's show, we will be giving away Wrestlemania Preview leading up to the big matches for next week. Our main event features NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair as he goes one-on-one with the Great Muta in a non-title match. Also on today's show, AWA World Tag Team Champions Bad Company defend their World Tag Team Championship against the Midnight Rockers. But like we said at the top of the program, next week is WrestleMania, and one of the big matches lined up is Roddy Piper challenging Ted DiBiase for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Let's begin today's show as Roddy Piper is in action against the $1 Million Man's bodyguard, Virgil. And Piper will have his hands full here against Virgil as Ted DiBiase and Andre the Giant are in the corner of the bodyguard, Virgil. Referee calls for the bell and a collar and elbow tie-up. And Virgil working the arm of Piper. And now, a wrestling maneuver. And Virgil shoves Piper away. And another collar and elbow tie-up. Virgil pushes Piper into the corner. There's no denying that Virgil is strong. But he is merely here to take out Piper before WrestleMania. As Piper up and down with a suplex. And Virgil in trouble. Piper with a big forearm to the back. Whips Virgil across the ring. And a big elbow is met by Virgil, but Piper keeps firing back. Throws Virgil into the ropes. And a stalemate by Virgil. Piper grabs Virgil, has him up in a suplex. And down goes Virgil. And a jab, a chop by Piper. Another jab by Piper, a third jab. But Virgil with a kick to the midsection. And a crossbody takes Piper down. Piper with a fireman's carry takes Virgil up and over. And Virgil off the rebound and a big elbow takes Virgil down. Piper up on the second turnbuckle. And he drops a fist across the face of the bodyguard Virgil. Goes for the cover. Referee in position 1, 2, and a kick out by Virgil. And that may just be delaying the inevitable as Roddy Piper throws Virgil into the turnbuckle. Has Virgil and rams Virgil's head into the top turnbuckle. 10 times Virgil rammed head first into that top turnbuckle. And this may be the beginning of the end as Piper picks up Virgil. And a big right hand uppercut takes Virgil down. Piper goes for the cover. And a kick out at 1 by Virgil. Got to give Virgil credit for kicking out. He could have easily just taken the pinfall there. And Piper with a high knee lift takes Virgil down. Andre up on the apron, getting the attention of Piper, allowing Virgil to get back to his feet. But Virgil, he's out. he's in trouble. Piper, I think at this point, is just toying with Virgil. As Piper allows Virgil to get up and has Goodnight Irene locked in, and you can say goodnight. Virgil will not get out of this one. And the referee calls for the bell as Piper puts Virgil to sleep. And your winner heading into WrestleMania next week, Roddy Piper. And there's that fist off the second turnbuckle. Roddy Piper with a little bit of a warm-up, but it will not be that easy next week against Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase is a seasoned veteran. He is the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And he will give Roddy Piper more of a fight than Virgil here did today. And there's your winner, Roddy Piper. Fans, we have much more primetime wrestling after this quick timeout. And Roddy Piper putting away the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's bodyguard Virgil with Goodnight Irene. He will be looking to do the same against Ted DiBiase next week at WrestleMania to claim the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Moving on now to the AWA. The World Tag Team Title scene is hot and furious in the AWA. Recent challengers to Bad Company include the Destruction Crew, the Rockers, the Nasty Boys, and of course the new tag team making their way to the AWA, the Texas Hangmen. In recent weeks, Bad Company has held on to the AWA World Tag Team Championship, sometimes using methods that wouldn't exactly be known as honorable. However, this week, they step into the ring with the #1 contenders, the Midnight Rockers. Let's head out to Las Vegas as Bad Company defends their titles against the Midnight Rockers. Of course, the Diamond Dolls not in attendance tonight is business for Bad Company as Diamond Dallas Page leads them to the ring. And Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond have used some methods in recent weeks to hold on to those AWA World Tag Team titles that some would deem unworthy of World Tag Team Champions. But of course, they'll tell you that the paycheck is just the same. And of course, when you're the champions, you do get championship dollar. In the ring, Michaels backs Tanaka into the corner. But will we get a clean break from Tanaka? Nope, but we don't get a clean break from Michaels. And Diamond in the ring, standing up for his partner as Shawn Michaels with a front face lock throws Tanaka into the turnbuckle. Another front face lock picks up Tanaka and down with a suplex. And Shawn Michaels tags in his partner Marty Jannetty. The fans here in Vegas are split. The Midnight Rockers are one of the most popular tag teams in all of professional wrestling. Unless, of course, they wrestle in Memphis. They are what many would call rule breakers when they travel to Memphis, but everywhere else they are cheered wildly by the fans. And I think fans here in Vegas respect the talent that is Bad Company as Tanaka takes down Marty Jannetty, has a shot for Shawn Michaels on the apron, picks him up in a belly to back suplex on the apron. A beautiful maneuver. Oh, and Jannetty flies out of the ring and takes out Tanaka. High flying action here and the NWA. As Michaels and Tanaka on the floor, Jannetty knocks off Paul Diamond. The Midnight Rock and DDP in the ring. But he's back out before the referee can see. And pandemonium has broken loose. Oh, and Jannetty Going after Tanaka again, but takes out Shawn Michaels. As Tanaka, in control, has Jannetty against the guardrail. Wow, I don't believe that. We need to see a replay of that. As Marty Jannetty took out his own tag team partner inadvertently. Michaels back up on the apron. As Jannetty slides in the ring. Tanaka follows, and Jannetty takes down Tanaka with a crossbody. Jannetty going up top. What's he have in store here? A big splash. Goes for the cover. Could we have new champions? 2 and a kick out of 2 by Pat Tanaka. And the PS4 skips on the record. Back to live action into the ropes, and a big chop by Jannetty takes Tanaka down, makes a tag, and here comes Michaels. Michaels now going up top. What's he have in store? He leaps and hits a splash of his own. Goes for the cover. 2, and no. That is 2 splashes off the top rope, but Tanaka able to kick out both times. As Michaels reversed, Tanaka not out of this contest yet. Throws Michaels up and over the top rope. And a big punch, a big right hand, takes Shawn Michaels down. Tanaka needs to make a tag, but no, he's going out after Shawn Michaels. And nails a karate maneuver, taking Michaels down. Oh, and a chop by Tanaka. No one does it better than Pat Tanaka. Back into the ring. Oh, and up and over. Michaels takes down Tanaka, who makes a tag finally. And here comes Paul Diamond, who's met with a chop by Shawn Michaels. And a big right hand. A forearm smash. A kick to the midsection. Another chop. Oh, and Diamond takes him down with a big right hand. Diamond, up and over, beautiful suplex on Shawn Michaels. And now Michaels has to make the tag, as Paul Diamond kicking away, stopping away, and smashing his way over Shawn Michaels. Oh, and a good old-fashioned boot to the face right there. And Jannetty's had enough. He gets in the ring. And Diamond, up and down with a beautiful suplex. And Michaels now in trouble, as Paul Diamond has regained control for Bad Company. He's going to go for the cover. Will they retain? Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out by Michaels. And things are heating up, of course, here in the tag team division. The Nasty Boys, the Texas Hangman, the Von Erichs in recent weeks, as Diamond going for a drop kick, caught by Michaels and nails him with a power bomb. And now Michaels with a schoolboy roll up. Referee counts 1, and the kick out at 1 by Diamond. Oh, another PlayStation skip. And Diamond had a pinning predicament, kicked out by Michaels. And a big right hand and a crossbody by Michaels takes Paul Diamond down. Gotta love these USB recording skips. And oh, and a savant kick by Michaels. Will we have new champions? Referee counts 1, 2. Oh, but Tanaka takes out the referee while trying to bring out the pinfall. And now, both Jannetty and Michaels in the ring with Paul Diamond, the referee's down. Then there's a rocker dropper right there. Michaels goes for the cover. Could we have new champions? 1, 2, and no! A kick out by Diamond. And now Jannetty going back up top. He already nailed the rocker dropper. Nails another splash off the top. Are you kidding me? 2 and 3. And we have new AWA World Tag Team Champions. And the fans here in Vegas are split. Some are cheering, some are booing. But that does not matter. We have new AWA World Tag Team Champions.
Here are Marty Jannetty.
Congratulations go out to the Midnight Rockers fans. We'll have more AWA Championship Wrestling after this timeout. And welcome back to Gotmark76 this week. Can you believe it? New AWA World Tag Team Champions crowned as Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels defeat Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond Bad Company to win the AWA World Tag Team Championship. I'm sure they will be defending those titles next month at Super Clash, live here on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. Let's turn our direction to the main event, as Nature Boy Ric Flair has found himself in quite the feud against Lex Luger and J-Tex Corporation. It was the Great Muta, Buzz Sawyer, and Terry Funk who attacked him at the conclusion of last month's Wrestle War pay-per-view. This week, Nature Boy Ric Flair gets his hands on one of the J-Tex Corporation members who attacked him in the form of the Great Muta. This is a non-title matchup. There he is, Gary Hart, the manager of J-Tex Corporation and the advisor to the Total Package Lex Luger, as he leads the prized possession of J-Tex Corporation, the Great Muta, to the ring in this non-title matchup against Nature Boy Ric Flair. It was back at February's Wrestle War when J-Tex Corporation attacked Ric Flair 3-on-1, ending that pay-per-view event. Of course, Lex Luger, the #1 contender to the world title. Great Muta was the #1 contender to the U.S. title and was scheduled to have a U.S. title match against Lex Luger last week. However, because of the working arrangement with Lex Luger and Gary Hart and J-Tex, that match was changed. So it looks like Gary Hart, trying to appease everybody, he has J-Tex and of course Lex Luger, and they share a common enemy, and he makes his way to the ring at this time. He is the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. And again, this is a non-title matchup, so if the Great Muta is able to pull off a victory in this contest, one would think that he would be a top contender to the world title. But what does that do for the relationship between Luger and Gary Hart and J-Tex? So lots of interesting developments can come from this matchup as Flair makes his way to the ringside. And one thing I can tell you is Ric Flair in his days was not used to being on the end of a 3-on-1 attack. He often ran roughshod here in the NWA and had others to help him. But he found himself on the short end of the stick, 3-on-1. But now, a 1-on-1 contest between these two great athletes, and Muta with a side headlock. Flair pushes Muta off the ropes. Up and over goes Muta. And a big chop by Flair, but Muta catches him. And a reversal by Muta. Throws Flair. Up and over goes Flair. Up and over goes Muta. And a drop toe hold by the Great Muta takes Flair down. And Flair wisely rolling out to the floor to get his composure. The Great Muta, I'll tell you, there's fast and then there's Muta fast. As Flair has Muta in an abdominal stretch. And Muta takes Flair over with a hip toss, getting out of that maneuver, and a knee to the back, and Flair is in trouble in the early going. And I spoke too soon. A shorter block by Flair takes Muta down. So back and forth action here. A big chop by Flair. And a really big chop by Flair. And now another chop by Flair takes Muta down. Another chop takes Muta down. And Flair now having words with Gary Hart, allowing Muta to get back to his feet, and takes Flair down with a kick to the midsection and a DDT to the mat. And down goes Flair. Great Muta now regains control. Back and forth contest here in the early going, and a big kick takes Flair down. And Muta with a big chop. Flair returns with a chop of his own. Muta whipping Flair into the turnbuckle and follows up with a drop kick from behind. A beautiful maneuver on the part of the Great Muta, and a Russian leg sweep takes Flair down. The Great Muta, former World Television Champion, and again, he is the #1 contender of record of Lex Luger's U.S. title, but with the current relationship between Luger and Hart and J-Tex Corporation, it's kind of a, I guess, weird situation as Muta charges in a beautiful kick. Takes Flair down, another kick from behind. And Muta in control over Flair, has Flair up in a beautiful suplex into a pinning predicament. 1, 2, and no! Flair kicks out. A full Nelson suplex, and Muta now going up top. He has Flair lined up. Could it be a moonsault? He's setting him up. He flips on Flair. Gets out of the way. Throws Muta up and over the top and knocks him to the floor. Flair follows suit. Muta went for that moonsault and Flair moved out of the way. And Muta with a Russian leg sweep on the floor. And we all know the injury history of Ric Flair in his back. And now takes Flair down with a beautiful leg drop. And Muta in control has Flair. Against the guardrail goes Flair. But Flair fighting back. And a big clothesline against the ring. Shoving Muta back first into the apron. And the referee's count is up to 7. And a scoop slam by Ric Flair again. Gary Hart distracting the Nature Boy. Muta from behind. A beautiful belly to back suplex takes Flair down. And Muta now picks up Flair. Going for a belly to belly, but Flair reverses it and takes Muta down. A big chop takes Muta down. Flair goes for the cover, but Muta makes it to the ropes. And now Flair staying on top of the Great Muta. Oh, and that chop sends Muta reeling. Flair takes Muta down, has him on the guillotine on the bottom rope. Flair, 247 pounds, falling back. And the momentum choking Muta on the bottom rope. And a beautiful hip toss by Flair takes Muta down. Muta is in trouble. Flair now picks up Muta. Front face lock. And now an abdominal stretch by Ric Flair. The Great Muta trying to escape. Can he get his weight and take Flair over? But no, Flair lets go of the hold. And again, the third time in this contest, Gary Hart interfering. Having words with Flair, which allows Great Muta to relax and rest. And a beautiful suplex by Muta, taking full advantage of the distraction of Gary Hart. And a series of elbows to the head of Ric Flair and the Great Muta, once again in control in this contest. A back and forth, and back and forth. As Muta, with a submission maneuver on Flair, can Flair make it to the ropes or escape? Flair is not the submission kind, and he gets up and the PlayStation 4 USB skips again. Flair with a series of chops in the Colonel, the turnbuckle, the corner. And now Flair setting up Muta for a figure 4. He has it locked in. Will Muta tap? Muta trying to fight out for everything he can. And Flair really sinking it in. And Muta able to get out of the figure 4, but Flair going for it again. Flair has it locked in a second time. Will the Great Muta submit? The Great Muta trying to escape. And Muta trying to turn it over. Can he turn it over? No, a series of punches. Oh, and a big right hand to the face of Flair. And Muta gets out, but Flair beats him to the punch. And a chop, another chop takes Muta down. Flair now goes for the cover on top. 1, 2, and Muta kicks out. And Flair staying on top of the Great Muta. And another chop across the chest. You can hear it from up here. And oh gosh, another one. And Muta, oh, and another one. Muta, his chest turned into hamburger meat. Oh gosh, again, against the ropes. And a chop takes Muta down again. And Flair indicating that this match is nearly over. Trying to put the Great Muta away. And a stomp to the face. And the Great Muta is in trouble. Flair with an elbow drop. Goes for the cover, this should be it. Referee counts 1, 2, and no! A kick out by Great Muta. And Flair can't believe it, does not know what he has to do to put Muta away. How about we go back to a chop, another chop. It is a chop fest here as Flair in control again. Has Muta and rakes his eyes. Not in front of the referee, that may have been a disqualification. And Flair now trying to undo the turnbuckle, but Muta grabs Flair, throws him into the turnbuckle. And another kick in the corner. And Gary Hart throws a chair into the ring. And Muta has Flair draped across the top rope. Oh, and slingshots him back. And Flair's in trouble. And Muta eyeing up Flair. Could he be setting him up? He is. He's going up top. Could it be the moonsault? Muta up top. Has him in position, and Flair again moves out of the way. The second time Muta's 0 for 2 in the moonsault. And Flair picks up Muta, going for the figure 4. He has it locked in. And Flair has it locked in. Muta has nowhere to go, and he taps out. Ric Flair will win this match. Fans, your winner of the contest is the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. What a back and forth contest this was here on World Championship Wrestling. But the Great Muta, missing not 1 but 2 moonsaults, set up Flair to lock in the figure 4, and the Muta had nowhere to go but to tap out. Fans, stay tuned. We'll have more World Championship Wrestling after this quick timeout. Welcome back to Gotmark76 this week. Next week is a monumental event here at Gotmark76. It is the first ever Wrestlemania pay-per-view. I started doing this YouTube channel about a little over a year ago. February of 2018 was the first show, and this will be the first WrestleMania. I am treating it as such and thought I would dedicate the rest of today's episode going over the big matches that will be focused on next week. And we, of course, will start with the main event. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff will defend the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship against Hulk Hogan. It was back on March 6th of 2018 during the main event when Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff defeated Hulk Hogan for the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. During that match, Mr. Wonderful hit not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 pile drivers to put Hulk Hogan away and win the World Heavyweight Championship. In the weeks that followed, President Jack Tunney said that Hulk Hogan would get his rematch, but it never happened. It took several months, and finally, in August, at the big event in Toronto, Canada, 70,000 strong were on hand, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff successfully defended the World Heavyweight title against Hulk Hogan. Fast forward to Survivor Series in November, and the Heenan family took on a bunch of #1 contenders to Mr. Wonderful's title. However, it was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff who last eliminated Don the Rock Morocco, who at the time was the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and Hulk Hogan, winning the match for his Heenan family team. The confidence of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff followed through January as he took care of challenger Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. On the same card at the Royal Rumble, Hulk Hogan defeated Andre the Giant. The stipulation for that match stated that if Hulk Hogan could defeat Andre, he would earn a future World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania, which of course brings us to next week. These two men are going into this contest both on a very hot streak. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff has taken on many challengers over the last year, and Hulk Hogan will get his second rematch. This is one match you will not want to miss. Also on this card, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase will defend his Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship against Rowdy Roddy Piper. The $1 Million Man defeated Don Morocco back at the Royal Rumble, and since then has hired Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of the world, to be an insurance policy. So on top of his bodyguard Virgil, the $1 Million Man has Andre the Giant to help keep things in line. These two men have crossed paths before. It was back last year when the #1 contender was determined for Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff's heavyweight title, and a 4-corner match took place. While Ted DiBiase and Roddy Piper were involved in that contest and had been against each other ever since. Here and there, wrestling each other all over the country, it is now for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And Roddy Piper is still looking for his first taste of World Wrestling Federation gold. Another key matchup to look forward to next week at WrestleMania will take place between Hercules Hernandez and Ken Patera. It was back at the Royal Rumble in January when Bobby Heenan stated that the last remaining member of the Bobby Heenan family that was involved in the Royal Rumble match would win $100,000. At the end of the contest, the final two participants were Hercules and Ken Patera won by throwing Hercules over the top rope. However, since Hercules was the last remaining Heenan family member, we all thought that Hercules Hernandez would be due the $100,000. However, we found out that prior to the match, Ken Patera signed a contract with Bobby Heenan, but it wasn't announced until several weeks after the Royal Rumble. As Hercules Hernandez grew impatient of not getting the $100,000 payoff, Bobby Heenan introduced Ken Patera as the newest Heenan family member, thus setting off this match. A stipulation has been made that if Hercules Hernandez can defeat Ken Patera, then Hercules will get 5 minutes in the ring with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Another big match going down at WrestleMania will be a First Blood snakebite match, as Jake the Snake Roberts takes on Ravishing Rick Rude. These two men have been battling each other all over the country for the last several months. They were on opposing teams back at November Survivor Series, and their feud has not let up since. The First Blood stipulation was added because both men didn't think that it was enough to put their opponent down for a 3 count alone. Both of these men will look to end their feud here at WrestleMania. One man will leave, the other man will bleed. Another contest signed next week for WrestleMania was just signed 2 weeks ago, as Ricky the Dragon Steamboat will take on the magnificent Don Morocco. Now, Ricky Steamboat wrestled Sika recently on Wrestling Challenge, and at the conclusion of the contest, Sika attacked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Don Morocco made his way to ringside in what appeared to be saving his friend Ricky Steamboat. However, he attacked him instead. Now, Ricky Steamboat was looking for an opponent at WrestleMania, And he found a good one in the form of Don the Rock Morocco, a former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion and top contender to the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, what is interesting is that not only did Don Morocco turn his back on his friend Ricky Steamboat, turned his back on the fans, but also turned his back on his friend and mentor, superstar Billy Graham. Rumors are running rampant here in the World Wrestling Federation that Don Morocco has rehired his former manager, Mr. Fuji. Rounding out the big matches at next week's WrestleMania, the Macho Man Randy Savage takes on the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. The World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championship will be on the line as Demolition defend against the Hart Foundation. An 8-man battle royal will take place. And the Intercontinental Tag Team Championship will also be on the line as the Young Stallions defend against Dino Bravo and Earthquake. A huge night of action on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel, and we hope that you'll tune in to catch it. Until next week, we thank you for tuning in to Gotmark76 this week, and we'll see you at the matches. Goodbye, everybody.